Hello, my name is Brian Eastham, and I'm with Team 2, and our problem we are solving is tangled wires, which has become a nuisance to workplace efficiency and safety in a majority of people's lives. This will be solved with our product, the WireWorks. Now, how did we get to this topic? During the brainstorming phase, most problems we wanted to tackle would take way too long. But during this, we all realized we dealt with tangled wires regularly. So we decided to focus on fixing that problem. Now, in our problem statement, we say that according to studies, it's found that one workplace has about 6 wired devices, and that tangled wires pose an issue to efficiency and safety. So this actually shows that our target customers would be offices and office workers as well. So we went through multiple different versions. The first was a box that would retract the wires automatically, but this posed a lot of problems, complicated things. The next one was a box that held 4 to 8 wires. This was really big and bulky, which led us to go to the modular version with the manual spooling the wires. Now this is our current model. Has a hole in the top so you can easily spool while keeping it closed. If you look inside, you can see that right now the wire goes through 4 different holes. It goes through this hole, a hole in the actual turning part of the spool, a hole in the bottom where it doesn't turn, and a hole to come out. Now this is because when we turn this spool here, it actually pulls the wire only from one side, not from this side here. Now this also lets us, if we spool the other way, we can just pull this out from this side. And it gets us back to the way it was in the beginning. Now, as well, our wire can actually just easily be pulled through the box. This was on purpose, so that way it wouldn't, break the wire. It could just easily be pulled, and you can easily decide how much slack you want on this side where it's not going to be spooling from. And then we would have couples on the sides, so that way it would just slide in and be modular easily, and it would hang off the back of the desk on here through something like command strip, something that would just stick it to the back but not actually damage the desk, just in case it needs to be moved. Now obviously we have changes for what we would have done if we had more time. One was to make it 2 halves that fit together, which would allow you just to lay the wire down inside grooves where the holes would be, and then just snap the box onto it. Now this was to make it more user-friendly, as right now we have it spooling through 4 different holes, and you kind of have to move your hand inside the box on the sides, and that was a little bit complicated. Then we would have actually made it much smaller. Now, right now it's big, like really tall. We've actually had it probably about this big, like 1 to 1.5 inches tall rather than 2 to 2.5 inches tall. So about half the size, maybe even smaller than that. Now the reason why we have it this big is because we wanted to spool closer to 4 feet of wire. Now we realized that we don't need it to spool that much. So shrinking it down has it spooling only about 1.5 to 2.5 feet of wire, but it makes it shorter and wider, which is actually what clients ask for, and lets us make it easier to hang off the back of the desk. Now, we actually did a lot of research into competing products and patents, and we found no active patents that our product would infringe upon. However, we did find a similar product in the patents that was the recoil winders, which is for headphones and phone chargers that automatically retract the wires and store them, but it doesn't go on the back of the desk, it's just something you have in your pocket. Now, this makes us glad that we moved away from the automatic recoiling, because that might have infringed upon this patent. However, even without infringing patents, there are competing products still. So our greatest competitor would likely be cable clip organizers. Now these are little clips that easily stick to a desk to hold a wire there. They help to organize the desk, but not to keep the wires from tangling or keep them hidden. But our product is all three of these things. However, it is also less mobile than the cable clips, which is why they will be the biggest competitor. Now, our product, the WireWorks, solves the problems of tangled wires by spooling and storing the wires behind the desk and out of sight, making the desk more organized and a better workplace.